What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. All right, so didn't want to forget about this game. Want to do at least a quick video. The third game from yesterday, of course, was game two between the second-seeded Houston Rockets and the seventh-seeded Golden State Warriors. Because of the Warriors' experience and because of the tandem of Steph Curry, one of the greatest point guards of all time, and Jimmy Butler, one of the premier playoff performers of the past, past 5-6 years. The Warriors have been favored to win this series despite being the lowest seed. And that seemed to bode true after game one, which not necessarily that the Warriors played well, but the Rockets were awful. I think it was a 95-85 victory. But in game two, it was a different story. Jalen Green, who admitted to having playoff jitters, his first ever playoff game the other day, did not have a great game at all. But last night he scored 38 points, a game-high 38 points, and tied a Rockets playoff franchise record with 8 three-pointers as the Rockets won 109-94, tying this best-of-7 series at one game apiece. The 8 made three-pointers ties the record established by 2 other players in Rockets history, Chris Paul back in 2018 and Matt Maloney. Remember him? Matt Maloney back in 1997. I think that's back in the day when I believe the Rockets lineup was, what was their point guard? Matt Maloney. That's back when they had Matt Maloney, Cuttino Mobley, I think Drexler, Olajuwon, Barkley. I think Michael Dickerson was coming off the bench soon to be a starter after Drexler retired, if I remember correctly. I remember that team. When that team was healthy, they were a championship caliber team. Only thing about it was that team just assembled way too late. You know what I'm saying? Had that team assembled 3 years earlier, they probably won a championship. But anyway, getting back to today, it wasn't just Jalen Green. Also had Sengun. I think his name was Alperen Sengun, 17 points, 16 rebounds. I never could get that guy's name right. And Terry Easton, 14 points coming off the bench. And the thing about Jalen Green is that for the year, he was solid, 21 points a game, 42% shooting from the floor, 35% from three, but he's inconsistent. And his inconsistency is probably going to eventually doom the Rockets, but last night, he looked like a superstar. You know, also it hurt the Warriors that they lost, I believe it was in the first quarter, Jimmy Butler to a tailbone contusion, I believe it is. And of course, the Warriors training staff is going to work feverishly to try to have him ready for game 3, because without Jimmy Butler, the dynamics changes completely in this series. You know what I'm saying? So they need Jimmy Butler, even if he's not 100%, to be available for the Warriors. This is my gripe about Steph Curry, man. Steph Curry is a great player, right? I've said this time and time again. But I don't like this. I don't like sometimes how whenever a co-star, like, becomes hurt, like the few times Durant got hurt, or now when Jimmy Butler gets hurt or whatever, right? It's like I never hear the announcers say, okay, it's time for Steph Curry now to step up and take over this game. He gets a pass. He gets all these passes whenever I don't know. It's just, it just irks me, because one of the knocks on Scottie Pippen when he was playing with Chicago is that he had all this supposed talent, but he was inconsistent as far as being a star. And that's what always held him back as far as being seen as an all-time great. I mean, top elite guy, is that he oftentimes failed to consistently step up and put the team on his back by him, quote unquote, by himself. You know what I mean by that? Like the way that superstars can, at least in the short term, carry their squad, like a Michael Jordan or a Wilt Chamberlain or a Rick Barry or Allen Iverson. You get what I'm saying with that, right? And I'm not saying Steph Curry hasn't had his great moments. He has. He's the greatest shooter I've ever seen. But I just don't consistently see him do what I see others do. And he gets all these passes. It's like it is what it is. That's why I can't take him seriously when it comes to the GOAT conversation when it comes to point guards. I just can't. I've seen Magic Johnson carry the Lakers. I've seen Magic Johnson after Pat Riley left, after Kareem Abdul-Jabbar retired, carry the Lakers to the NBA Finals. Well, I don't want to say carry like he didn't have any help, but you know what I mean. I've seen him take on an offensive burden back when point guards weren't doing that. I've seen him expand his game. I've seen him come up huge in the moments when they needed something, a bucket, and I've seen him step up and move over to shooting guard. I've seen him move over to small forward. I've seen him throughout the games move over and play center and play decent interior defense. Hell, even get a couple of block shots, rebounded. I've seen him do these things. That's why some people laugh when they say, "Oh, Steph Curry, the greatest point guard." Like, nigga, have you seen what Magic Johnson was doing when he was playing? This dude literally would check into the game as a point guard and finish as a center, literally. But anyway, that's all I got to say about this, man. Salute to the Houston Rockets, even though I don't think they're going to win this series. But, who knows? Man, tell me what you guys think.